Alright, so we're checking out the AAOYUN AOY-320 portable power station, and this is one of these sort of ultra compact and lightweight power stations with pretty good capacity. You can see the size of my hand here. Very portable, nice handle here. It does come with a shoulder strap as well. You just attach it to these little hooks here. So you could imagine sort of a backpacking, hiking, camping scenario. Obviously, if you need some portable power, pretty energy dense, has a lot of energy in there. It's 296 watt hours of capacity, and it's pretty good for this size. And it's kind of interesting shape. It's 12.5 inches by about 6 inches high by about 4 inches deep. So you're like, wow, it's kind of a long shape here. Why is it kind of looking like that? And that's because it has a flashlight here in the front. A very, very bright, I think like 20,000 lumen, 20 watt LED. Can go up to 1,500 meters in distance and reach. So, I think that's kind of why they made it into this shape here. On the back here is just a cooling fan and this little silicone, meshing here. You can stick some additional items in here. And for example, it does come with a couple of these USB cables. You have a USB-C to USB-C and a USB-C to USB-A. And then you have this wall adapter, 65 watts for charging up the power station, and just have this nice foldable plug. And I suppose you could stick some of these USB cables here in this little pouch. So it's kind of nice. And then on the back side here is nothing, just the label. And on the bottom you have a, these are some of the parameters, specs here, in terms of what in and out. We'll actually cover this here, so if you want to freeze, you can take a look at it now, but I'll talk about that, of course, in this video. And then on top, you got a little area here, and then this little sort of lip right here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can put like a phone or something here, or tablet. Maybe if you want to use that to watch a movie or something like that. It kind of leans it up. It's kind of nice. And you have this light here as well, and pops up. Nice and collapsible. And we'll go ahead and I'll demonstrate that right now. So just to turn the power station on, you just long press the power button here. And it shows a little capacity meter here. And it's denoted in, what is this, percentages here, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100%. And then when it's charging, it blinks. The function for the light here is this top button here. So go ahead and press that. So you have low, warm, you have cool white, cool high, and this is also warm high. So 4 different levels, and then off. And of course you could operate it with the thing collapsed as well. Obviously not quite as bright as when it's fully extended. That's probably the best case there. And just press that again, turn this off. For the flashlight, just press this button. There's 3 different levels, and I'll go ahead and I'll show you here what it looks like outside at night. Obviously here under the bright lights, it's not going to be that noticeable. You also get a couple of different SOS modes where it's flashing, fast flashing and slow flashing, and off. The inverter in here is a 300 watt inverter. So I did do a couple of tests on the inverter. I had like a heat gun that generally tops out at close to 300 watts, and that, as long as you don't exceed 300 watts for too long, it'll just pretty much run until the battery dies out. So you're good. Now I did also test another device that has a gradual increase in its wattage draw. It starts out like around 250 or so, and increases and goes over 300, and it'll keep on going. It's like a water bottle heater, and that topped out after about 2 minutes. It went from like 300 to about 396, and at 396 the over current protection kicked in and shut off the inverter. Now, what's interesting is that most inverters, I guess this has a fan for cooling. It did not kick in. I didn't hear it, at least during my test. So while the fan is there, I did not actually, in all my testing, get it to turn on where I heard it. So apparently there's cooling inside here where it's enough where it can stay cool enough. I guess the fan is there in case if you're in an outside environment, like say in the desert or something, then if you need additional cooling, the cooling will kick in. But at least for this 300 watt inverter, which isn't a lot, so that's not necessarily a fan is needed. It doesn't kick in when the inverter is on, like you actually hear on a lot of power stations. So if you like a really quiet power station, this is pretty much silent. And the overcurrent protection didn't kick in until about 396 watts. Now, it depends on how long. I guess if you're over 300 watts, say like at 350, maybe you can go a little bit longer. That's pretty typical for a power station where, it'll let you go over the rated current draw for a period of time until it's stressed out enough where it's okay, we're just going to turn everything off, and it just shuts off. The power station shuts off, the AC shuts off, but the DC stuff stays on. Now, the overall power draw on the power station in total is 600 watts. So it's 300 watts on the AC inverter, and then for all the DC stuff, it's going to be another 300 watts, so 600 watts total. So you have a few other extra ports here. You have a 100 watt input and output USB-C power delivery. And this is how the power station is mainly going to be charged up. So if you're charging it via your car or via the AC outlet, it will charge up to 100 watts. Now, when I charged with the included 65 watt adapter, I got about 67 watts out of that. So obviously at a lower charge rate of 67 watts, it's going to charge a little bit slower. They're saying about 6.5 hours for this unit from 0 to full. But if you have a 100 watt USB-C power delivery wall adapter, which I do, you can charge it up to 100 watts and it'll charge a little bit faster. I think it cuts the power down, charge time to about like 4.5 hours, I believe. And it's 4.5 to 5 hours. So if you want to charge up a little bit faster, if you have your own provided 100 watt adapter, you can charge this at 100 watts. You got 3 USB-A's here. They're 22.5 watts each. So like I think the voltage range is 5 volts to like 12 volts. Typical like quick charge and power delivery. And of course, to turn that on, you just press the button here, and then this little USB turns blue. So whenever each of these are on, it turns blue here. So you can see the little blue illumination behind the button. And then same with the AC, you can turn that on, it turns blue. Turn on this DC, which is separate from this DC, which is USB. Turn this on here, turns blue, and then you got a little flap. 12 volts at 10 amps. Standard cigarette lighter adapter, and I did use this to test the capacity of the power station. So it's rated for 296 watt hours, and when I ran my test, it gave about 280 watt hours, which is pretty good. So it's about 95% efficiency on the DC to DC converter on this 12 volt outlet here. So 12 volts at 10 amps is 120 watts. So if you're drawing, I think I was drawing maybe like around 90 watts, I believe, in the capacity test that I ran. And yeah, I got about 95% efficiency at that rate. So pretty good overall for the power station capacity. I also did test the solar panel testing here. So it did not come with a solar panel. And then this uses a barrel connector here. So on one of the on the product page, one of the diagrams, it showed that the voltage range on this is 5 to 24 volts. But in the user's manual, I'll show you in a second, I think it says up to 20 volts. Now, the solar panel that I was using outputted 18 volts, so that was totally fine and within the voltage range. And so you can charge this via this barrel connector within that voltage range on any solar panel, and it'll charge up this power station no problem. Additionally, if you have backup battery like lithium iron phosphate, like here I'm showing you an example here of a 12 volts 100 amp hour mini size battery that I will be reviewing soon. That review, if you're wondering, is not out yet. It'll be out a little bit later, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that video. But you can use an external, like one of those 12 volt batteries, plug that in here, and basically extend the capacity of this power station. I believe this is 20 amp hours, 296 watt hours, but you can obviously add one of those little mini 12 volt, 100 amp hour batteries and get like, that's a massive 1280 watt hours plus the almost 300 watt hours. That's like close to 1600 watt hours total if you get something like that. And that would last a very long time if you're out in the field. And just lastly, just a quick look at the manual here. Pretty decent. Most of the specs here are listed right here. Just say that the battery type internally is 3.7 volts, 4,000 milliamp hours, and there's 20 of them. So while it didn't tear this apart, very likely they're some sort of a 21700 type of lithium ion cell, and it's not lithium iron phosphate as far as I can tell from anything I've seen. I think it's lithium ion, and that's probably why you got that nice, basically better energy density for the weight. You know, it weighs only about 7 pounds, and at this size. So if you want this kind of energy density, lithium ion is the way to go. And it has the ratings for the battery pack, 296 watt hours. And here are the input and voltage ratings here for the Type C and also for the DC. This is says here 20 volts at 3.25 amps. So it's a little bit, the product page, one of the diagrams shows 24 volts and this one's saying 20 volts. So I would say just to be safe, keep it under 20 volts, whatever you're sticking in there, whether it's an external battery or a solar panel or some sort of charge controller. I would say just to be safe, keep it under 20 volts. This might be more up to date. And then here's the rest of the specs on the USB-A, 12 volts, 10 amps from the cigarette lighter, and then of course standard USB-C power delivery there. And here are the dimensions. So that's pretty much going to cover it for this video here. That's all the specs, everything that comes with it. Pretty nice power station overall. Pretty basic. I mean, obviously this is more for like a camping sort of scenario in terms of like using the flashlight and the camping light, obviously powering your AC and DC devices. Nothing obviously too large. It's not, obviously this is more designed to be more portable. And then obviously it doesn't have any of those fancier features, like it doesn't show like the input and output wattage, the current going in and out on the power station, like you see like a little, like an LED diagram or something like that. And there's no Bluetooth connection to like a phone or something like that. So it's pretty basic, obviously keep the cost down. And I believe right now on Amazon it's like $150 or around $150. So really, really attractive price for something of this capacity and capability. And if you don't need any of those fancy features, you know, definitely thumbs up on this one. The link will be down in the video description if you guys want to check it out. That'll do for this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.